Little news also involving the Carolina Hurricanes. There's a tweet from the New York Rangers. The Rangers have acquired defenseman Adam Fox from the Canes in exchange for the Rangers' own second-round pick in the 2019 NHL Draft and a conditional third-round pick in the 2020 NHL Draft. Now, Fox is currently at Harvard. He was originally a Calgary Flame draft pick. His rights came over to the Hurricanes in the big trade in the summer that was made between those two clubs.
He was a big part of it, those rights.
Well, those rights were something of considerable value, and Donnie Waddell was hoping to perhaps sign Adam Fox, but Adam Fox seems like he's been playing this game of like, I want to play for the Rangers, as we've seen some other guys do in the past. And he pretty much said, I'm going to go back to school if you don't trade me and trade my rights, most likely the New York Rangers. And after my fourth year of college next year, I'll come out, I'll be a free agent, and then he can do what he wants, which is probably to sign with the Rangers. So in the end, Donnie Waddell and Jeff Gorton come to an agreement on a deal where the Hurricanes do get some value. They get a second-round pick and a conditional third-round pick, and Adam Fox will likely leave Harvard and come and join the New York Rangers next year. Billy, you've seen him covering college hockey. I'm sure you've probably seen Adam as well. Give us a breakdown. Give the Ranger fans a little bit of an idea on what they're getting.
He's a hell of a player. Cale Makar got a lot of attention this year in the East, in college hockey in the East. One was in the ECAC, where Harvard is, where other plays in Hockey East. But Cale's presence was so huge that I don't know if it was fair to a guy like Adam Fox, because he was still pretty darn good this year. You saw his points per game, 4, almost 1.5 per game.
Led the NCAA.
Led the NCAA. He was outstanding. I talked to Ted Donato about him a couple of times, did a couple of his games with the Beanpot, etc. His skating he worked on, his shot. He had to work on his shot a lot more, and he did that during the offseason, and he bared down on that. He started shooting more to it, so it made guys stay, more honest with him, having to defend him a little bit more. I don't think he's as powerful a skater, if we're just making a comparison to a Cale Makar. Not many guys are, though, when it's all said and done. But he's shifty. He's smart. He's elusive. He's got solid size, But he's a pro. He's absolutely a pro. I know Ted Donato loves him, says he's an absolute stud. He was focused on so much by the opponent. I mean, literally, sometimes 2, 3 guys on him all the time, and he still put up those numbers. He's a hell of a player. It's a good get. I also, look, I give credit to both sides in this trade. I know some people were giving it to the Rangers for giving up a little bit. Why would you do this right now? Why would you know why? Because you want a certain player.
Well, you want him
and you
on
want
your
to make
team
sure
this
you
year.
get him exactly for
you want
next
him to
year.
play this year.
So I don't find any. They say, well, you gave up an extra conditional pick and everything. You know what? Sometimes you got to give a little more than maybe the public thinks to get the guy you want, no matter what.
And what do the Rangers have, by the way? Draft picks.
Exactly.
Because they've stockpiled them. And they're getting a guy that can come in and play next year instead of a guy you draft who probably 2 years away.
And number 2 pick this year, who will probably come in and play if you're looking at Capo Kakko, if he
That's right,
from Finland. And also, I want to give some credit to Carolina in terms of everyone knew that he was going back to school. He was going back to school to pretty much not sign in Carolina, and they still got a second rounder and a conditional third. So good for them to get a lot in what a lot of teams could have just waited a year and tried getting in UFA. So it worked out well.
This is the kind of deal, maybe down the road a couple of years, where there's a good relationship between the two GMs, where they make another deal or so. It says, you know what do they call it, a hockey trade or a good trade? Hey, you know what? We worked well together here. Let's try and do something else right here. Again, people I know, social media-wise, are giving it to the Rangers a bit for giving up too much. I always say, get the guy that you want, and good for Donnie Waddell. Nino Niederreiter, and then getting a return right here. They've done a nice job there right now.
Yeah, and that conditional third-rounder will become a second-round pick for the Hurricanes if Fox plays 30 or more games next year. So there's another little bit to that trade. And the back and forth was that the Rangers, or the Carolina Hurricanes wanted a first-round pick in return. They compromised with this deal. So good for Adam Fox, good for everybody involved. They all get what they want in this deal. Carolina back in action on Wednesday night.
Bad for Harvard,
the Islanders. Well, not everybody can't be happy in these things.